What's up, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard with the Gaming Brigade, back with another Division 2 video. And as most of you know by now, for the last 3 weeks we've had a holiday event going on in the game, and this marks the fourth and final week of that event. Therefore, today I wanted to take some time and go over a few of the things I think you should be focusing on before the event ends. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really does help us out. So as you can see here, we have the Hollywood Global event that begins today. Now, to be honest with you, in full transparency, I'm really not a fan of this event. I don't enjoy it that much. However, as I've said before, these global events are a great time to level up, earn stars, and get a bunch of good gear in the game. Now, when it comes to gaining those stars, you do have a few different options on how you can pick them up. You can either do daily challenges, or during this event, when the event is active, for every shade level that you gain, you're going to earn a star as well. Therefore, today we're going to focus on strictly farming XP. One friendly reminder for new and returning players is you have to activate this event in order to earn those stars. You can see here from this page, I push X, it goes from deactivated to activated, then I'm good to go. So remember, if it is not turned on, you're not going to earn any stars whatsoever. With that being said, let's now talk about farming for XP. And as most of you know by now, there are so many different ways you can farm in this game. You have missions, you have control points, you have patrols, elite patrols, resource convoys, warhound convoys. Again, what's great is you can really, decide how you want to farm based on your style of gameplay. Now, if you've seen any of my global events over the last 3 weeks, you know that one of my favorite ways to farm for XP is hitting up territory controls, because they're in a stationary location, the NPCs spawn the same way, and on certain ones you can reload them over and over again. Like many of you out there, I have certain missions, control points, things like that in the game that I love to run because I know the timing. Now, when it comes to territory controls, I have one of those as well. It's located in downtown East. It's what you're looking at now, and in my opinion, it's by far one of the best ways to farm for XP. And the main reason for that is because it's located right next to a fast travel location. So you can see I fast travel to a classified mission, I turn around, and I get to this area within seconds. I can clear it in about 45 seconds to a minute tops, and you'll see in a second it earns you about 200,000 XP. Now you can see I'm doing this on challenging difficulty with 3 directives just to give you a baseline of the type of XP you can earn when you're doing this. Now keep in mind, obviously, if you do this on heroic, you're going to gain more XP. On normal, it will be less. You can add directives, take them away. Try out a few different things and see what works best for you. Getting back to the gameplay, you can see once the territory control has been cleared, the icon is no longer on the map. All I'm going to do at that point is reset my control points, and I will be taken to the nearest safe house. Now, when I reopen the map, hopefully the territory control is there and I can reload it again. Which actually brings me to a question that a lot of you send the channel, which is, what do you do if you get back to your map and the territory control that you just farmed isn't there again? What I recommend is this: reset the control points again. If it doesn't show up within 1 or 2 attempts, move on to a different location. Because for some reason, and this is actually why I haven't highlighted this, territory control over the last 3 weeks, it just hasn't been on the map. So for some reason, sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. But if you have to reset it more than 2 or 3 times, definitely move on, because this, in my opinion, it's all about time management. That's what it's about. It's about farming for XP as quickly as possible and earning those stars. So to give you a quick comparison, and I can use myself as an example, if I were to run Lincoln Memorial on heroic with 4 directives, it would probably take me about 10 minutes, and that would net me over 700,000 XP, which obviously is a shade level every time I run that mission. However, with this method, you've seen how quickly you can clear this thing. So let's say that takes about 45 seconds. Actually, let's round it up to a minute. Now you have to add in the time in which it takes to reset your control points, which is another 10 seconds, and a little more fast travel. So let's say that's about a minute 20 seconds total. Therefore, during those 10 minutes, you can run this at least 6 times, which will net you a minimum of 1.2 million XP. And not only that, you don't have to deal with the drama of, let's say you're in a heroic mission and you die, you have to start over. There's none of that. You can do this as many times as you want. You can do it once, 10 times. It's totally up to you. And once again, for new and returning players, this is all about farming for XP. That's why I'm not worried about that my world is set to challenging, because I'm not concerned about the quality of the gear. This is just to earn stars, just to buy caches, so that way it can get a lot of good gear at the global event store. Now, besides farming for XP this week, the only other thing I'm really going to focus on is trying to get as many different variations of the Chill Out mask that I can. Now, I talked about this in yesterday's video. Well, first of all, you can find the location of that loot goblin in a few different areas across the map. This one happens to be my favorite. It is right by Jefferson Trade Center. One thing I want to address really quick, and I talked about this in yesterday's video, but a lot of people have been asking, does he just show up at night during your gameplay? And the answer is no, he's there during the day as well. However, from my experience, I've found him in succession more times in the evening, so that's what I recommend doing is once you see him spawn, hit that spot up over and over again. Now, in order to do that, you have one of two options. You can log out, then log back in, or you can reset your control points. And I've heard both sides of the coin. Like a lot of people reset their control points and they farm a spot, nonstop. For me, that doesn't work. I have to log out and log back in. And do me a favor, let me know which method works for you. Two more things I'd like to mention about the mask really quick. First of all, it is only here during the holiday event. Therefore, next week by this time, you will not be able to farm for it. And secondly, the game is going to be buffing the mask whenever they make their next update. So it's a Gilligard mask, but for some reason it doesn't have the gear set bonus, which is 5% armor for the first piece you have equipped. So once they make this update, it will also have that buff as well. So again, definitely grab as many as you can. One more thing I want to mention really quick is, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not really the biggest fan of this event. I really don't play it, or I haven't really played it in the past. Now, one thing I recommend doing is, regardless of what type of build you put together, have your jammer pulse on. That will greatly help take out the shields of the NPC and make gameplay much easier. And once again, as I've said, it's all about earning as many stars as you can as quickly as possible to buy those exotic caches, named caches, legacy caches. And remember, in the named and legacy caches, you can also get Dark Zone exclusive items. So for a lot of players, it gives you an opportunity to hopefully get some of those pieces of gear or weapons that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise, for whatever reason. I mean, let's say you don't like going into the Dark Zone, that's not your thing. You have a chance of getting those DZ exclusives. Or if you are a fan of the Dark Zone, but certain things have eluded you, it also gives you that chance as well. With all that being said, my friends, I'm going to wrap this thing up. However, as always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your continued support. I sincerely think it's going to be a great year for the game. Hopefully, we'll get some news soon. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, please let me know in the comment section down below. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. We would love for you to be a part of what we're doing. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.
Access key detected.